A far more serious threat to Linux are all sorts of tools like rootkits, trojans, or backdoors. You may not be familiar with these terms. Generally, if you have access to a Linux computer, rootkits, Trojan horses, or backdoors will allow you to remain undetected, extract some data, bypass normal authentication. For example, backdoors allow you to secure illegal remote access to the system, so you don't have to bypass security manually every time. These are the most common threats in Linux environment. However, in order to install these applications on the system, you first need to gain access to it somehow. So if a user uses their computer responsibly, they won't allow a situation where an unauthorized person gets access to the computer, or some unsafe application is installed to happen. The threats we've mentioned are common, but they require the attacker to have access to the system. A responsible user will install applications coming only from trusted sources, and won't try to open any application, thus making his computer safe. Such actions will prevent unsafe applications from being installed. How might a potential attacker gain access to your system? Each application has some vulnerabilities. If you run an unsafe application from an unknown source, you expose your computer to an attack. If you use a faulty version of a web server, the attacker can access your computer through a specially prepared website. This is a typical attack taking advantage of software vulnerabilities. In reality, you cannot do much about it except to update your software regularly. Software vulnerabilities are equally often used to attack Windows systems. For example, an additional application may be installed, which in time will allow attackers to gain remote access to your computer. If you're not sure whether an application is safe, it's better not to install it. The most common type of attack consists of trying to guess the password. This takes place especially often on computers connected to networks. This is a tool called SSH, which is a network protocol for secure data communication. However, if a user has a weak password, sooner or later someone will guess it. Brute force attacks, systematically checking all possible passwords until the correct one is found, are quite common. If your computer is connected to the internet or a public network, sooner or later someone will try to break into it. If you set a weak password, they'll succeed. If an attacker has physical access to a computer which is not secured, they can get access to the administrator account, even without a password. And then they install any application on your system. It depends, of course, on how much the people trust you that you work in the same room with. In an open space office, you obviously have to pay more attention to security than at your home computer. In the next part of the course, we'll present a method which allows us to eliminate at least some threats.